Yo, what's up everybody? We all dream of those amazing European vacations, right? The cobblestone streets, the history, well, let's be real, the pastries. But here's the thing, people, and it's a conversation we need to have. Europe ain't always that pretty postcard for everyone, especially if you're black. We're talking about the realities that don't make it onto those glossy travel websites. Rising crime rates in certain cities, racial profiling that would make your head spin, and social tensions so thick you could cut them with a baguette. This isn't about scaring anyone. Knowledge is power, and knowing what you might face is the first step to staying safe and having a truly enjoyable trip. So buckle up, because today we're diving into the top 10 European cities black travelers might want to approach with a little extra caution. Alright, first up we're heading to City A, a city known for its stunning architecture, rich history, and let's be honest, a rising crime rate that's got some folks singing the travel blues. Now, I'm not saying don't visit, but here's the deal. City A has been grappling with an increase in petty theft, particularly targeting tourists. And guess what? Being black and a tourist can sometimes make you a walking target. It's like wearing a sign that says, "Hey, I'm new here and I probably have euros." There have been some concerning reports of racially motivated incidents too. Verbal harassment, people getting followed in shops, you name it. Knowing that these issues exist can help you stay vigilant and avoid becoming a statistic. So, bottom line, City A. Beautiful city, incredible history, but definitely keep your wits about you, yeah? Next up, we're jetting off to City B, a city that seems to have it all: gorgeous canals, world-class museums, and a whole lot of social tension simmering just below the surface. Centuries of colonialism, recent waves of immigration, and some deep-seated prejudices have created a bit of a powder keg. And as a black traveler, you might find yourself caught in the middle. We're talking microaggressions on steroids, people. From being ignored in shops to getting the side eye on public transport, it's like a masterclass in subtle and not-so-subtle racism. Look, I'm not saying don't enjoy the beautiful canals and the incredible art scene. Just be prepared for some potentially uncomfortable encounters along the way, because sometimes the most beautiful destinations have the ugliest underbellies. Alright, let's talk about City C, a city known for its vibrant nightlife, delicious food, and, well, let's just say some neighborhoods you might want to avoid, especially if you're rocking more melanin than a summer tan. There are certain areas in City C where, frankly, your blackness might be met with more suspicion than celebration. We're talking about places where racial profiling is practically a competitive sport, and the police presence feels more like an occupying force than community helpers. City C has a lot to offer, but it's about being smart, doing your research, and knowing where you might want to tread lightly. And trust me, there are plenty of other amazing neighborhoods in City C, where you can experience the culture, the food, the vibes, without feeling like you're about to star in a remake of Get Out. So, bottom line, City C. Enjoy the good times, but choose your neighborhoods wisely, my friends. Okay, let's talk about City D, a city known for its stunning historical sites, its charming atmosphere, and, well, let's just say it's law enforcement's unique approach to interacting with black people. We're talking about racial profiling on steroids, my friends. Imagine this: you're strolling down the street minding your own business when suddenly you're surrounded by police officers demanding to see your ID. It's exhausting, it's humiliating, and it's a stark reminder that in some parts of the world, your blackness is seen as a liability before it's seen as anything else. But it's about knowing the risks, being prepared for the possibility of an uncomfortable encounter, and knowing your rights if you do find yourself on the wrong side of a random stop and frisk. Alright folks, let's talk about City E, a city known for its beautiful parks, its vibrant art scene, and, well, let's just say some travel advisories that black travelers might want to pay close attention to. When governments and organizations start issuing warnings about potential dangers for specific groups of people, it's usually for a good reason. And in the case of City E, those warnings often revolve around, you guessed it, racial discrimination and even violence. We're talking about incidents of hate speech, physical assaults, and a general atmosphere of hostility towards black people in certain areas. Now, I'm not saying don't visit City E, but it's about being informed, knowing the risks, and taking extra precautions. Maybe avoid certain neighborhoods, especially at night, because at the end of the day, safety should always come first. You know, sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones that come directly from the source. And when it comes to understanding the realities of being black in City F, There's no shortage of personal experiences that will make you stop and think. We reached out to some black travelers who've spent time in City F, and let me tell you, their stories are eye-opening. From being followed in shops, to being denied service at restaurants, to being called racial slurs on the street, their experiences paint a stark picture of the challenges black travelers can face in this city. One woman told us about how she was stopped by police 3 times in one day, simply for existing while black. And the stories go on and on. These stories aren't meant to scare you, but they are meant to make you think. Look, I know all this talk about the challenges black travelers face can be a bit heavy. So let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something positive. Finding your people. Because even in cities where being black can be tough, there's always a community out there waiting to welcome you with open arms. And in City G, that community is thriving. From black-owned businesses to cultural centers to social groups, there are plenty of spaces where you can connect with other black travelers and locals, share experiences, and find a sense of belonging. These spaces are more than just places to hang out. They're safe havens, places where you can let your guard down, be yourself, and celebrate your blackness without fear of judgment or prejudice. So if you're heading to City G, do yourself a favor and seek out these spaces. You know, they say history repeats itself, and unfortunately, when it comes to understanding the challenges black travelers face in certain European cities, nowhere is that truer than in City H. See, City H has a long and complicated history with race. From its colonial past to more recent struggles with immigration and integration, the city has often struggled to come to terms with its own diversity, and those historical wounds still run deep, shaping the experiences of black travelers today. Now, I'm not saying that everyone in City H is stuck in the past, but it's important to understand how history continues to shape the present, and how those historical legacies can manifest in the experiences of black travelers. Alright folks, let's talk about safety. Because at the end of the day, no matter how beautiful a city is, if you don't feel safe, you're not going to enjoy your trip. And unfortunately, in some European cities, black travelers have to be extra vigilant about their safety. Now, I'm not saying you need to walk around in a constant state of paranoia, but it's about being aware of your surroundings, trusting your gut, and taking precautions to minimize risks. So what does that look like in practice? Well, for starters, it means being mindful of your belongings, especially in crowded areas. It means avoiding walking alone at night, especially in unfamiliar neighborhoods. And it means being prepared for the possibility of encountering racism, discrimination, or even harassment. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today, and I know it can feel overwhelming, but before we wrap up, I want to leave you with some practical tips for navigating Europe as a black traveler, because at the end of the day, knowledge is power, and being prepared can make all the difference. First things first, do your research. Before you even book your flight, take some time to learn about the cities you'll be visiting, their history, their demographics, and any potential challenges you might face as a black traveler. There are tons of online resources, travel blogs, and forums where you can find first-hand accounts and advice from other black travelers. Second, pack smart. That means packing light, comfortable clothing and shoes that can handle cobblestone streets and long days of exploring. It also means packing any essential medications, toiletries, and personal care items, as you might not be able to find your usual brands abroad. And finally, don't be afraid to ask for help. And that's a wrap, folks. Look, I know we covered some heavy stuff today, but I want you to remember this. The world is a beautiful, diverse, and endlessly fascinating place. And just because there are challenges doesn't mean you should let them stop you from experiencing all that it has to offer. So go out there, explore, adventure, and create memories that will last a lifetime. Just do it with your eyes wide open, your head held high, and your melanin glowing strong. Stay safe, stay informed, and keep on traveling, my friends. And as always, thanks for watching.